Yo, what is up, y'all? It's Cone back here again tonight with another episode of After the Buzzer. Now, you immediately probably have a few questions. One, if you're a subscriber, you're wondering what is happening to the background. I'm back home at my parents' house for a few days, so you're going to see a few videos like this. And two, you may be asking, what is an After the Buzzer? Basically, it's the longest series I have going on my channel, where after NBA games on certain nights, I'll go ahead and break down some of the best performances, storylines, and kind of just react because I really like talking basketball. It'll be a little less edited than some of my previous videos you've seen. I'll still throw in clips and graphics and stuff like that and some cuts here and there, but mostly it's going to be me talking basketball, so hopefully you enjoy. I do have a quick question. I typically do these after the games. Do you guys prefer that late at night or for me to upload it in the morning? I typically do it late at night after the games wrap up, but if y'all have a different preference, let me know in the comment section below. And I decided it would be fun to kick off this series for the new season by overreacting to some of the early preseason games. Of course, the Thunder, my favorite team, played tonight and they beat the Nuggets, so you know I have a lot to overreact to. So let's go ahead and overreact to some preseason basketball. Like and subscribe if you enjoy. Of course, because I'm biased, we're going to start off with talking about OKC versus Denver. This was a pretty fun one. OKC got the win by double digits. Big performances from Trey Mann and Josh Giddey in particular. Josh Giddey was, of course, the story of last year's draft, getting taken at 6 overall, all the people calling him a bust right away, and he had a really good rookie season. But there was one thing that really stood out about Giddey: his lack of offensive capability. Great playmaker, great rebounder. He could not hit a three to save his life, and he really struggled attacking the basket. But this is something that I believe Giddey can continue to work on and get better at, and he really has shown it both throughout the Summer League and in this game. Giddey was knocking down threes. He had this one great three in transition in particular. He had another one too in the game, went 2 for 2 from deep. He also attacking the basket with some great moves here and there. It was just a really impressive game against a really good team in Denver, and I'm really excited to see what Giddey brings to the table for a second-year jump. I think he's got a lot more in the tank offensively than people give him credit for. He's now working with Chip England, who is OKC's new assistant coach, one of the best shooting coaches in the world. He was with the Spurs for a while, came over to OKC this offseason, so buy some Josh Giddey stock if you can. And same with Trey Mann. I'm telling you right now, this is your last chance to hop on the Trey Mann bandwagon. After that, it is leaving the station. This is your final chance to get on the hype train, because Trey Mann is going to shock the world in the coming few seasons. One of the best shot creators amongst the young guards in the NBA, and I promise you, the second he starts to get things to go down consistently, it's going to be over for a lot of people. People are sleeping on Trey Mann in a big way, so if you're one of those people, you should stop doing that. Also, we had Jamal Murray, who made his comeback alongside Michael Porter Jr. in this game. They both looked really solid, were doing the things they typically did. Michael Porter Jr. hitting shots that probably shouldn't be possible and that he shouldn't even take, but because he's Michael Porter Jr., he's going to knock them down. And Jamal Murray attacking the basket, looking agile, hitting a buzzer beater at the end of the second quarter, just all around doing Jamal Murray things. The Nuggets are going to be phenomenal. I already made a whole video talking about that a couple days ago if you want to go check that out. I believe they're going to be a 60+ win team, and they showed me nothing in this game that didn't make me believe that they're going to do that. A little worried about the way Bones Highland played. He looked kind of out of sync, and it looks like they're going to rely on him a lot in that second unit, but it's the preseason. There's plenty of time to get things together, and I think he'll be fine. Also, I slandered DeAndre Jordan in my Nuggets video, and he came out and destroyed us, which is probably going to happen with a lot of big men this season, but you know, maybe he watched it. So if you're a fan of the channel, DeAndre, let me know. Then we had the Philly versus Brooklyn game. On the Philly side of things, no Joel Embiid, no James Harden, but Tyrese Maxey. I am telling you, if once again, another player, if you are not on the Tyrese Maxey bandwagon, which I'd be surprised because most people are, hop on it now, because I truly believe he's going to be an all-star sooner than later. I think he's capable of making that jump as soon as this season if everything goes well. It might be a little hard to get the number of touches that he needs for it with Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, and James Harden on the roster, but he's got that capability. An incredible shooter. He's electric. The second you put the ball in his hands, he can put it in the basket in such a multitude of ways. Floaters, attacking the basket as one of the fastest players in the league. Fast drives. He's athletic. He can pull it for threes. Maxey does everything. I'm really high on this Sixers team. I truly think they might be the best team in the East. But of course, the big storyline was the return of Ben Simmons, having him play alongside Katie and Kyrie for the first time as Brooklyn Nets as a trio, and it looked pretty good. I found what I saw pretty promising. You know, Ben Simmons looked really fun in transition, creating opportunities. He looked really solid defensively too. I still believe there's defensive player of the year upside in him. The Nets are just so perplexing to me because when I watch a little bit of what I saw tonight, like there were some moments where I was like, okay, this could look phenomenal. phenomenal. Like, I'm really excited by what I see here. And Ben Simmons next to KD, Kyrie, and some shooters makes a ton of sense in theory. But then part of me thinks, what's their defense going to look like? Because Ben Simmons is the only truly elite defender in that starting unit. What does that look like? How does it work in a half-court offense? What does Ben Simmons do? Will he shoot? He shot a fadeaway jumper today that was not great, but at least he's taking some kinds of those shots. We didn't get a Ben Simmons 3 tonight. Trust me, I would have started the video with that if we did. But I'm just super perplexed by this team and really excited to see how they play. I found what I saw promising, like I said, but it did still seem like there were some kinks to work out in there. But overall, I think there are good things coming for the Nets. I might drop a whole video talking about them in the next few days. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe and let me know if you want to see that one. Then we had the Kings-Lakers game, another one I was really excited for. I'll talk about the Kings real quick. Keegan Murray, he's going to be so good in this league. He feels like just such a perfect glue guy for that roster, knocking down shots, playing great defense. There was this great sequence in the game where he stopped a lob and then ran in transition and knocked down a 3, and then he intercepted a pass on the other end and went ahead and got the transition dunk. Like, he just does everything. He's one of those guys that no matter where he is on the court, he's going to try and get his hands on the ball, be involved in the play. He makes an impact every single second he's on the basketball court, and the Kings need guys like that. Having a guy like him that will just do whatever he needs to do for the team to win is huge. And the fact that he's still super young, he can grow more into this role. I'm really excited by Keegan Murray. I'm fully buying into the potential Rookie of the Year hype, and I think he's going to be one of the better players on that roster pretty soon. I'm hoping he starts from day one. I would imagine he does because he's such a perfect fit, and if he doesn't, I'm going to be very mad at the Kings. Then we've got the Los Angeles Lakers, who they've been through a ton of drama. Actually, earlier today, an article came out from Shams talking about the Lakers' thought process with the whole Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, 2 first-round picks and Russ trade thing that has gone around for a while now, saying the Lakers talked about it a lot, but for right now are going to kind of wait and see how Russ works out, which I do think makes sense. Why not go ahead and see how things go? Maybe somehow it does work out. And it looked pretty good at times today. Russ was really solid. He didn't shoot too much, but he was efficient when he did, made some good plays, rebounded, looked decent on defense. He did a bunch of little things. And if Russ can buy in like that for 82 games, then you could have a much better result. LeBron James really struggled. Maybe he's washed. That was a joke for legal purposes, but he's still going to be LeBron. He's going to be really good. Anthony Davis looked good, which is, in my opinion, the biggest X factor for them. If he can return to the player we saw him at a couple years ago, where he was knocking down threes, mid-range jumpers, playing like a defensive player of the year, then this Lakers team ceiling rises a lot, and even their floor, maybe then they are a certified playoff team, which I still don't know if they are, but I'm buying a little bit back into the Lakers hype. I don't think they're going to be a playoff lock by any means, but I'm starting to kind of get myself there that maybe they could make some noise for that, and we'll see if a Russ trade comes. My big worry, though, is of course their depth, because they were doing really well in the first half when their starters played, and then their bench came in and it was completely ugly. I am super worried about how that depth is going to look. I think they need so many more trades. I don't like that Damian Jones is starting at center. I still feel like Anthony Davis starting at center opens up the game the most for the team. He gives them a legitimate potential stretch big if he's knocking down threes like he could in the past. You've got LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. That opens up the court for him a little bit more, because Damian Jones isn't going to be a guy that's going to stretch out and knock down threes consistently. I just don't see it happening. I still think AD starting at the 5 is the best way forward for them, but it seems like they might go with this lineup of Westbrook, Nunn, LeBron, AD, and Damian Jones, which we'll see how it works. Darvin Ham, I know, is honing a lot in on the defensive thing, and maybe that's just the best defensive lineup he's seen. I'm still not sold on it, and they're role players. They still need shooters. I don't know who they can call and pick up. Now, they didn't have Schroeder today in those bench minutes, so that could be a little bit of what caused that huge collapse in the second half, but it was just clear how much deeper that Kings roster is than this Lakers roster by watching that second half. So the Lakers still have a lot of work to do. I'm buying a little bit more into the hype that maybe somehow this big 3 situation of Russ, LeBron, and AD can work in some regard, but I still think they're very long away from being contenders, and I don't even know if they're like a playoff team at this point. It still feels very up in the air, so we'll see with them. I was kind of encouraged, but still kind of out on them. Those were the games that I was able to see the most of. I was traveling most of today, so I didn't see some other ones, but I did get to catch some things. Kawhi Leonard made his return for the Los Angeles Clippers. He struggled to get into rhythm. He hadn't played basketball in like a full year. He's Kawhi Leonard. He's going to be perfectly fine. Dame had 16 points, looked pretty good, looked like the aggressive Dame of old. I think he's going to be back in a big way this season. Jeremy Grant had 14. Yusuf Nurkic had 13 and 9. I'm buying a bit more into the Blazers now from, looking at the way this team fits together on the court. I'm kind of looking at it. I'm like, yeah, I can kind of buy that starting lineup. I still worry about their depth. That's my big issue for them, is when those starters are out, who plays and how effective are they? But as a starting unit of, Dame, Josh Hart, Anthony Simons, Nurkic, and Grant, I think it's a solid unit. I'm interested to see the way that Chauncey Billups organizes that second unit. Maybe Anthony Simons and Dame have a lot of staggered minutes so that one of them is always being that primary creator for whichever unit they're in with. We'll see. But overall, I was pretty encouraged by what I saw from them. They did end up losing because the Clippers are ridiculously deep. Also, Tyronn Lue said today that Marcus Morris is going to start at the 4, and a starting lineup of John Wall, Reggie Jackson, whoever starts there at the 1, alongside Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, and Zubats. There's probably not a better starting 5 in the NBA. That is just ridiculous. Celtics maybe. Oh, also maybe the Sixers. It's a good starting 5 is basically what I'm getting at. And I'm continuing to buy into the fact that the Clippers have the best roster in the league on paper. And then finally, just a couple notes from random games. James Wiseman, I'm a believer. I am fully on. You can clip this, whatever. I'm fully on the James Wiseman bandwagon. He's going to be a guy in this league. I fully believe that. He's looked great in the early preseason games for the Warriors. I like what I've seen from him. I hope he gets consistent minutes on that team. I expect Looney to still be the starter, but I'm hopeful for James Wiseman. I think he's still going to do good things. Then we've also got Jabari Smith looking like KD the other night for the Rockets. Excited to see what he can bring to the table. Defense is never a question, but the question is how effective can his offense be when the Rockets don't have a high-level point guard right now. KPJ is still trying to work his way into that role, and I'm honestly still not sold on what he's going to do, but we'll see. And then the Hornets lost by 41 to Boston. They're going to suck. I think they could potentially be the worst team in the East. That roster is rough. They have done nothing to help LaMelo out. I might make a rant video about the Hornets because they really make me mad because of the way that they've organized their team the last few years. If you want to see that, let me know, because I feel like that would be a fun video to make. And those are my thoughts on the early preseason games. It's nothing too crazy. I just had to talk about basketball. You know me. I hope the setup worked out pretty well. Kind of just threw it together real quick. I appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, this is a series that I'm going to keep going on this channel all throughout the season, so definitely make sure to hang out and check that out. I appreciate y'all watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Also, let me know what your biggest takeaway was from one of your favorite teams' preseason games. If your favorite team hasn't played, whatever takeaways you have from any of the preseason games, let me know. I'll see you later. Real One, say it back.